Minister Leaks, you came into District 16 at a time that was virtually a battleground. All over we had acts of violence on a pretty regular basis. Is there one thing that you can attribute to the slowdown of the rate of violence in your constituency?
Yes, I spoke earlier in my remarks about a community action plan. And in that community action plan, the word community rings up. Once we started to do some things like the cleaning up and the addressing of the needs of a lot of the residents, i.e. making the community the focus of what we needed to do. Because a lot of people, when I first came, as you know, I was a little green and I looked around and said, how can we help? And fingers were pointing, questions were asked, what is the government doing? What is the police doing? And I, in my capacity as representative, I said, okay, what is the community doing? So I tried to connect those three arms together, and as one, that's the backbone of my community action plan. So this is where I feel that we are really getting on top of the situation that we are facing.
2 weeks ago, I was in the neighborhood of St. Monica's, and a certain element doesn't like the press there. And during the discussion with this young man, who didn't want me there, it came about that basically all of them he was talking about, he wanted a job. He was upset that I had a job and he didn't. What can you reassure him? How can you tell him that jobs are coming?
Is that for me or
that's
for myself? Well, again, I'm looking to assist with other colleagues the implementation of Job Corps. Now, I'm not saying that this young man is skilled or unskilled, but Job Corps will go a long way in preparing and train or retrain people as needed. And hopefully as the economy picks up, so would the availability of jobs. So with this program, the Job Corps, once these jobs do pick up, hopefully a large part of our society will be ready, job ready.
May I add to the answer there? I think you've already heard from the comments from the Honorable Terry Lister with regard to Morgan's point. In addition, though, just look at what was accomplished and what is reflected in the news today. And I'm talking about the inking of the relationship between the Corporation of Hamilton and the developer. That didn't just happen by accident. It didn't just happen by the fact that some magical fluke you had a developer sit down and the corporation sit down. That required painstaking work by the government. That required work by relevant ministers as well as ministerial assistants, not just to get it to the stage of having a deal inked, but also in terms of assisting with access to financing. Why did we do that? Why do we consider that important? Because that young man in St. Monica's mission and all young men and women in Bermuda who are without a job are important to this government. So we have a stake in ensuring success. The construction, the build out and work to get a hotel built requires employers to employ. It requires some of our unemployed to be able to be in a position where they can get a job and talk less once a hotel is built. There is much collateral economic activity that is generated. So this government, while we go and pound the pavement in New York, in China, wherever it takes to get jobs in terms of financial services and innovation technologies to Bermuda, we also recognize the heartland of our people requires that our tourism industry is strong and invigorated. So that young man who you spoke to, just as we all speak to on the doorstep, we are providing not just hope, we're providing action and concrete actions being taken to make Bermuda better for them and to provide opportunities for their employment and their empowerment.